We are back with Bob Goff talking about how to genuinely love those around us. And Bob, you do it in so many creative ways. I love it. Okay, so first of all, you throw a parade every year for your neighbors.
We do.
You once crowd surfed a friend who was mourning, which is hilarious and unexpected. And my favorite one, as I said in the last part of the interview, you gave out your phone number to everyone who read your last book, in the book.
Yeah.
Said, call me.
Yeah, on the last page,
Why?
I told the publisher, well, there was a little bit of room. There was an extra half a page. I'm like, what if we did? I just looked at the way that Jesus lived his life, right? And there's a woman that pulled on his shirt, and he's like, turned around, and he's like, who was that? A little guy in a sycamore tree? He's like, lunch on you. He had time for everybody. And I was realizing about myself, I was getting less and less available. So I said, could I put my cell phone number on the last page of the book? They looked at me like I was on drugs. Like, well, now I have to. I'm not going drugs. But put my cell phone number on the last page of the book, and I get 100 calls a day. Even in this new book, it's in the back of this. I get all of these calls from people. I got a call from a guy on his honeymoon. I'm like, buddy, I got 4 words for you. Put the phone down.
Yeah. So what has that taught you? Because I think being that available in this culture, like so many people read your book. How many books did you sell of that first book?
1.5 million.
1.5 million. And so if every one of those people called you, look at you laughing.
It's awesome. I can't get a thing done. I love it. But following Jesus means a life of constant interruptions. He wasn't bent out of shape, and he wasn't trying to be efficient in the way that he loved people. He was trying to be present in the way that he loves people. That's why I don't take talks and put them up on YouTube, because I don't want people sitting alone in their living room on the couch in their boxers thinking they're with everybody. I just actually go be with everybody, because he wants us to be a community. That matters to him so much. And so people will call me. Usually they'll call and I'll say, hello, it's Bob here. And they'll say, Bob? I'll say, yeah, it's Bob. They're like, Bob? I think they just want to know it's really true. I know I want to know that of you, of me, of the people here in the studio. I just want to know it's really true. And we can answer that just by answering our phones. So I would say for even some of your viewers, try that for a whole week. Don't let anybody go to voicemail. Like literally, and if it's going to wreck your life, you don't have to change your ringtone to a rooster crowing, and on the 3rd ring you've denied Christ. It's not like that. But what if you just do this? Just try to be available to people. It'll transform your faith. Wow. It really will. Just this idea of availability and not trying to fix things for people, but just be available to them. Because actually, then the Holy Spirit actually starts fixing things for people.
I think from the time I started working, God's been challenging me about that very issue, because as a task-oriented person, you're thinking, get the task done. And he's always saying, people are more important. And if you take care of my work, I will take care of your work. But it's so hard to do that in the middle of pressure, right?
Yes.
And I love that challenge. You know, I think sometimes we don't love people, not just because we don't love, but because we've been hurt. So there is that hiding, right? That hiding from others as a way of protection.
Yes.
So how do you get beyond that? Because you don't look like you've ever been hurt.
Part of it is realizing we're all equally insecure, that we just express it differently. So I'm like a 7. I'm like the Enneagram 7. I'm like a Tigger. I'm like super upbeat and all that. Yet I've had a couple setbacks along the way. But I'm just not over-identifying with those. I'm not trying to just stay all over-caffeinated and yippee-skippy, but I'm actually just filled with probably anticipation. Just wondering what's going to happen next, constantly curious about everything, curious about people and things, writing things down, trying to live a noteworthy life, not so other people know about me, but just so I can be engaged in it. And the more we're interested in other people's stuff, more than our stuff, that's where the beautiful stuff happens in our faith. Because people will know if you're actually interested in them, and that's where beautiful things will start happening in your life.
We're almost out of time, but I want to hit this one thing because it kind of convicted me, which is you said instead of saying to people when you greet them, how are you doing? You say, how are you working for the people in your life?
Yeah, how's my life working for you? So oftentimes people will ask me, like, Bob, how's your life going? My life is always working for me. The question is, how's it working for the people closest to you? Because if your life is not working for them, it ain't working for you.
And that's a big question for somebody as well known as you, right? So you're always on a plane, like, you know, everybody wants a piece of you. You've got 1.5 million people potentially phoning you. So then how is that working for those closest to you? Is that a hard question to answer?
Yeah, sweet Maria Goff, and I could not be more different. She's like super shy and like kind of like to herself. And I'm like out there with everybody. But here's the deal. I'm not trying to be like her, and she's not trying to be like me. We're trying to be like Jesus.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
we
you.
could talk for like an hour, but if you want to get this book, everybody always look it up. Amazon, right?
Yeah, evidently.
Evidently, on Amazon. Okay, thanks so much.